welcome back to Wine Never Books with your girl Kay. So as you can see by the title, we are reviewing Yellowface. Check it out. So this book has been all over TikTok, Instagram, talking about the hype is real. This book has gotten me out of my reading slump. Y'all need to read this. The book recommendations is there. Y'all know me. Y'all know I don't play around with my reviews. If I like a book, I like it. If I don't like it, you gonna know. Anyways, so I wouldn't have read this book if it wasn't for my July book club read. This was the book. I read it. I don't understand what the hype is about. I stand by my personal opinion. I might be the latter here, but I didn't see the hype. Like, I wouldn't have read it if it was a book club pick. Like, I thought the book was okay. Like, just okay. It was okay. Like, this book is not a book that would have got me out of my reading slump. Honestly, would have probably put me in a reading slump. Not gonna lie. So that's just my opinion. If you read the book and you disagree with me, let's have a discussion. You already know I'm always open for dialogue to see other people's perspective. But anyways, before we get into the video, I'm drinking a wine cooler. I'm not drinking wine. First of all, if you in New York, you know the heat is heating. You need a little cool beverage, and it's right now for me. It's after work, so I just finished working. So you know, if you like margaritas, Cayman Jack, this is a vibe. I wouldn't steer y'all wrong. This is a little vibe, little cool little. It's cool little vibe. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's jump into it. I'm not gonna go into full detail because, like I said, I thought the book was okay. That's just that. So the synopsis of the book. So we have June Hayward, aka Juniper Song, right? Let me start by saying June Hayward is a white woman, right? So she's friends with Asian woman. Let me get her name. I forgot her name. Athena Liu, right? Athena Liu. So she's friends with Athena Liu. Athena Liu, we're just gonna call her Athena. Athena is a well-known author. She's very highly prestige, like she's very well known. She's written bangers back to back, boom, 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 right? Again, Athena is Asian, so June is white. So they've been friends since they met in college, whatever. And you know, they're not, honestly speaking, let me take that back. They're not friends. They're more so acquaintance. Like being together and talking to one another is a convenience for both of them. Cause to June feels inferior to Athena because Athena got it going on. First of all, they both writing majors, so they both want to be authors. And you know, Athena books is popping while June wrote one book, a debut book, and it failed, right? And everybody can't hit on the first time. So for June, instead of her using the acquaintanceship / friendship with Athena to, you know, better herself, to grow, to ask questions, to really figure out, you know, what she's doing wrong, to use that as motivation to continue moving forward, to write better, for her writing to grow, she resents Athena for being famous. She resents Athena for books going out. She's a hater. She's a hater. She's a hater. June is a type of person, right? She's a type of person that I would never put myself around. So I just have to say this, right? If you're friends with someone who's doing better than you at the current time, right, or who's excelling in their career, you guys are in the same career, use that to grow. Don't use that to grow hate, right? Hate comes from the heart. I'm a firm believer in that. If you hate someone, that comes from your heart, like, and that's a you thing. That's not a that person thing. Like, if I could look at somebody doing better than me in the same career field, help me. Like, I'm gonna ask questions, help me grow. What can I do better? That's just me. You know, I want to be around people who's doing better than me so I can grow. If somebody's not doing better than me or on the same level as me, what can you teach me, right? What can you teach me? Because I have plenty of friends who are social workers, and shout out to them because I'm a social worker, and honestly, we have all helped each other, but some of them excel further than me in other areas, and I'm asking questions. All right, put me on. And that's how I grow. Like, no hate. I need to learn. That's how I feel life should be. But people always going to be haters. You got friends who secretly hate you, don't wish you anything good. And I don't like those people because you just, all that energy, you take all that energy being mad, you could just take that and be positive. But that's just how I feel. Anyway, so yes, so yeah, so they friends or whatever, and Athena, you know, like I said, she's doing good. So one day, Athena hits up June and was like, yo, let's link up, let's go out. Like that, they would link up here and there, right? And Athena will always pay for June, because June, she having financial struggles. She's like doing tutoring here and there. She's not making it. Like, she's barely surviving. She's living check to check. And I will say this, I understand how this stress, financial stress and life stress, and you feeling like you're not where you want to be, that all takes a burden on you mentally, physically, emotionally, right? And that can make you unstable. But at the same time, that's no excuse. You only owe it to yourself to try to get yourself out of that situation, right? It's hard, it's not easy, but it is doable, right? I feel like we've all been there, especially the world that we live in. We've all felt, I don't want to say rock bottom, we've all hit a patch where you feel like you're not doing enough, you're not where you want to be. And it's hard seeing past that, but you have to have the will and dedication, and of course a great support system, resources to motivate you to keep moving and not to give up. So it's not easy, but it is doable, right? And on that note, we're gonna go there. So Athena and June, they out, they drinking, they getting lit. Athena is just like, you know, they don't really have good conversation like that. It was just basic conversation. And June also feels like Athena makes her feel less than, right? Like Athena throws all her accolades at June and her money at June and stuff like that. But June never complains. When y'all go out, if you really feel that way about Athena, why you got her paying the bill for y'all drinks all the time? Like, you're not saying, oh, hey, let me pay this round. No, you taking it. So you feel away, but yeah, you reaping the benefits. Come on, don't be duplicit. So anyways, y'all gotta get one of these. So yeah, so anyways, after they get lit at the bar, whatever, Athena's like, oh, let's go to my house, whatever. So they go to Athena's house, right? I'm fast forwarding. And they get really drunk, still drinking more. You know, Athena got the good liquor, right? Her house, she making money from publishing books back to back, bangers, like I said, bangers. So she got money, so she don't have no cheap liquor or whatever. So June is taking all of this in. She's taking her house in. She's taking all that, and she's jealous. She's envious. Like, I don't even think envy is a word. What's another word that's higher on a hierarchy than envy? I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. Let me Google it, right? So, they end up getting super drunk and they start making pancakes, right? And of course, June is envious again because it's not the box pancake, you know, Aunt Jemima, where you got the water instant. Nah, Athena's making them joints from scratch, right? So I will be happy. Like, my friend decided to make me some from scratch and not from the box. But no, it's June. And I'm just gonna say this. I gotta be very mindful of what I say. So give me a second. Let me think about to reword it, right? Matter of fact, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. I'm gonna just keep that to myself. I'm on camera, so I gotta be mindful. But one of the reasons, I'm gonna pause right there real quick. One of the reasons why I did not like this book is because as I was reading, it just made me feel like, this is my honest opinion, I just felt like it was another story of a white woman stealing from a person of another culture, right? Another race, with no accountability, delusion. And I just couldn't like see what the hype was about. That's what the book was giving me. Like, I'm like, this is nothing new. Like, if anything, surprise is not talked about more. That's just how I felt. That's what I'm gonna say, right? And that's one of the reasons why I was just like, the hype, like, why y'all hyping this book up? There's nothing new. But anyways, so yeah, so they in the apartment, they're cooking pancakes. They decide to have like a pancake eating contest, whatever. So who eating the most pancakes? So they stuffing pancakes in the mouth. All of a sudden, Athena starts choking. So first of all, June took too long to go to help Athena. She wasn't in shock. Sis knew what she was doing. I'm gonna say sis knew what she was doing. So she took a minute to go over to Athena, right? She go over to Athena. She trying to do the Heimlich remover, right? It's not working. So she moved away from Athena, right? So now June is just looking at her choking. She take forever to call the 911. While she's taking forever contemplating what she about to do, Athena's over there with a chair trying to do the Heimlich maneuver on herself. She ends up falling to the floor, shaking, whoop, 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 shaking, all that. Right? June's still looking. Then June finally calls the cops like, oh, my friend collapsed. She's choking, whoop-de-woo. They ask her where she at. Oh, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what apartment she's in. What? First of all, come on now. Like, she knew what she was doing, right? So, anyways, I should mention before they started the pancake eating contest, June was walking through Athena's house, you know, looking, and she went into Athena's reading room, well, not reading room, writing room, and she saw that Athena had like piles of notebooks and her current manuscript of the book that she's currently reading and stuff. I mean, she had a manuscript of the book that she just currently finished writing, her newest novel, right? And nobody has ever seen that new manuscript. Nobody has ever read it, because Athena's like, she doesn't allow people to read her work until it's finished. And she's old-fashioned. She doesn't type her notes in a laptop. She uses an old typewriter, and she writes like her outlines in notebooks, so it's packed up. So June already peeped all that, right? So as Athena lay dead on the floor, of course, you know, June calls 911 woo-doo-woo. And the time it took 911 to come to the house, do you know that June went into Athena's writing room, stole her manuscript, right? And something else, another notebook, before the paramedics got there? If that's your friend, you're not doing that. You're not thinking, oh, my friend is dead laying on the floor because she choked. Let me go steal her stuff. Come on now. Like, you know what kind of person you got to be to do that? That's not even the messed up part. Hold on. You got to drink to that. Need another one. Anyways, right? Okay. So, the news gets out that Athena dies. June now, mind you, June barely goes on social media, whoop-de-woo. All of a sudden now, you know, the news get out. It gets out that June was with Athena when she died. All of a sudden, they best friends. She's heartbroken. She can't believe this. She had to take time at a week at whoop-de-woo to really gather herself. I just couldn't. Like, it really pissed me off. Like, it pissed me off for a number of reasons. But again, like I said, I'm on camera, so certain things I have to be mindful of what I say. But it just pissed me off. We're just gonna leave it at that. So anyways, let me tell you what she did. So not only does she uses Athena's death for clout, right? She go talk to her mama. Her mama like, yes, I know y'all was close friends. I'm not even gonna get to that part yet. I'm gonna just pause real quick. So anyways, June decides that she's gonna steal Athena's manuscript, right? And use it and publish it as her own. So she reads the manuscript. She's like, all right. She starts changing things. She starts editing it, all of that, right? And she puts some of the writing she switched around, was her own. Some of it wasn't. And then, you know, she had to start doing research on the book and all the topics, because it was about which country? I forgot which country. Was it North Korea? Hold on 1 second, y'all. I don't want to get it wrong, you know. It was, no, I said North Korea, Jesus. It was about the contributions of Chinese laborers during World War I, right? Because that's, I didn't even know. That one thing I can say about the book, I learned a lot, especially with history. I didn't even know China was a part of World War I. I had no idea, right? So I could say, like, I do enjoy history when it's implemented in novels, right? So she had to do all the research on the Chinese laborers, right? I should mention that June still had her publisher from the first book that she wrote, but again, she was getting no recognition because her book flopped. So she rewrites everything. She decides to send the book to her publisher. Her publisher reads the book, whoop-de-woo, decides that, you know, he likes the idea. He sends it off to another publisher. They start reading the book. Then, you know, it started getting picked up. People say they like it. And then a publishing house actually decides that they're going to take on the book. So now she's there now, like a big publishing house well, not really a big, like I want to say medium publishing house, decide that they're going to, you know, buy the book from her or whatever and publish the book, right? So now she's getting recognition. She's getting clout reviews. They're putting it out there. So sis stole Athena's work. She rewrite a little bit, plagiarism still, right? She took out some stuff, reworded a lot of things, implemented stuff, didn't, right? Whatever. She start picking up ending of lines where like a character story ended, and she will finish it like whoop-de-woo. So while she's doing all the re-edits and all that to the book, she's basically like, you know, Athena's not really this good writer. Like, you know, some people can't follow the writing style. Some people can't follow the story. Like, she would just implement random things. Like, she was saying all these things while changing the girl's story, but most of the stuff is still the same. And I'm just like, she's delusional. She really had it in her mind that she wrote the book. Like, she did the research for the books. The June is a stealer, right? So she's delusional, right? And then not only that, but during the time while they was getting ready to, you know, promote the book, the publishers felt that she should change her name. So she's saying that her middle name, what was her middle name? Is it Juniper or Song? Song, something like that. Her middle name is either Song or June, one of them. I didn't even care too much, right? But anyways, for the sake of the review, I believe it was, damn, can't remember. No, her middle name was Song. So the publisher decides that she should rebrand her name from June Hayward and publish the book under Juniper Song. First of all, you know what you're doing. You are a white woman rebranding your name to Juniper Song. The Song last name is very common in the Asian culture. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Don't disrespect the culture like that. Don't do that. That really pissed me off. Like I'm not Asian, but I can understand how that could be triggering to Asian someone who is Asian, because that is disrespect. You know what you're doing. So their excuse for doing that was because, oh, you sold your first book under June Hayward, and because it wasn't a hit, we want a different image, and we think you should rename yourself as Juniper Song woo. She was delusional. How could you go along with that? You know, and then the book that she was promoting is for the Asian culture, the Chinese culture. You as a white woman, come on. Right? So then she had the nerve to say, oh, as a white woman, I should be able to tell anyone's story. You can't. You can't. That just really like, I just feel like this. Yes, everyone is entitled to write about what they want, how they want, because freedom of speech, right? But when you doing it in a disrespectful way and you stealing it, that's where, you know, the line gets drawn. Then for you to really believe that you wrote this book, like you did the research, that it's okay for you to change your name, something's not right. And she kept saying now that she's getting the recognition, the promotions go high, but the reviews are going good, right? For early releases arcs. She's like, oh, I'm finally making it. Like, sis was like, that fame was really going to her head. She's finally getting recognition. And on top of that, she still has clout for Athena's, from Athena's death. And she's rocking hard with We Best Friends. That's my friend. So anyway, the book now comes out and it's mixed reviews, right? So people are saying like, oh, how could she as a white woman write this book? Like, the writing style is not really her. That, you know, there's people saying like, oh, the book is really good. It touched upon stuff that we didn't know. Like, there's mixed reviews, but the reviews was eating the shit out of her. One thing I can say, the book really did a good job in highlighting how social media can really influence a review, a book, in a positive manner or a negative manner. We all know social media is the devil. I stand by that, right? People take things on social media and they run with it. Nobody fact checks anything. Nobody tries to research anything. The minute someone put a tweet up, oh yeah, now all of a sudden everybody have an opinion on something. So the book did a great job of highlighting that, how people really be on social media clouting and just talking right out their ass, right? So, because it happens now. I wasn't surprised about that because it's something that we see on a day-to-day basis, so it's nothing new. But what I will say is that I got to understand a different perspective from how book reviewers really can impact author's book, and how book reviewers like have an emotional impact on the author, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, I have no regrets. If you put a book out, you put it out to the public for it to be reviewed, for it to be talked about. Nobody's not gonna like all your books. Nobody's gonna like your book. So if you put a book out, yes, your work is your baby. Yes, your work is sensitive, because I could feel the same way if I wrote a book, and I'll be cautious and think. But at the end of the day, you know what you signed up for when you release a book. You gotta expect those criticisms, right? And I know that sometimes I can be harsh with my reviews, especially if I don't like a book or if it don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I try to be respectful in my reviews though, but if I don't like a book, I don't like a book. Like, I'm not gonna feel bad that I don't like a book. Like, sometimes the books just don't be hitting. Like, I tell you that all the time. The books is not hitting. This year for books, I have not found I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. I have this book, this year, 2023, the books has not been hitting at all. Like, I don't know if the authors is just like, we just go and chill and put out some BS, but I haven't found a book that really hit my soul. 2022, there was, this year, I got the bare minimum. Some books are great, but they're not like, let me sit down and reread it again. Nah. But anyway, so I got to understand a little bit on that, like how social media really has an impact on authors, and how, you know, they anticipate and their anxiety is high when they go to release a book, and how much has to go through and how long it takes for a book to be published. So I understood that part, and I actually enjoyed reading about that, right? So I didn't like any of the characters. It got to a part where the book is out, everything's going well, and then all of a sudden here comes a tweet saying Juniper Song stole Athena's book, right? So now that comes out on social media, then all of a sudden everybody's like, yeah, the writing is similar, the tone is similar. June Hayward's book didn't go so well. She could never write a book like that. I knew she was a stiller, whoop-de-woo. So she takes a minute to really to not respond. She talks to her publisher. They like, oh, is there any truth to this? She's like, no, I wrote the book. I did the research, whoop-de-woo, right? So then they like, oh, okay, since you telling the truth, we just gonna let it play out on social media. You know, the next big story is gonna come out. So all of a sudden, like, the tweets keep coming, like, I know what you did, I know what you did. So she's like, oh my God, like, she's trying to figure out, like, who would do this. So she's checking up the list, whoop-de-woo. And then so she hires, well, she didn't really hire. Her sister husband does like IP traces, tracking, whatever, whoop-de-woo. She asks him to help. He ends up finding out where the IP address is coming from. It's coming from another city, and she knows that who resides in that city. So the anonymous Twitter account, she hits them up like, yo, I know who this is. You better meet me before I expose you. So she ends up meeting the person in the cafe. It ends up being Athena's ex-boyfriend. He's like, before Athena died, we talked about her manuscript. I know you didn't write it. And then she basically taped the conversation that they had, and she was like, I will expose you for trying to blackmail me if you go public. So he ends up taking it down, and then the story dies down. But then she ends up telling, this is the part I didn't like. So Athena's mother ends up calling her like, hey June, is there any truth to you stealing Athena's work, right? So June ended up getting nervous because Athena writes all, like, again, she has stacks of notebooks with outlines of every book that she's wrote. She's old fashioned, and Athena's mother ended up acquiring all her notebooks. So Juniper knows that, so she's like, damn. So she goes over to speak to Athena's mom, and she's just like, yo, you know, Athena's mom asks her about it again, wooty woo. She's like, no, and then, oh, I'm lying. That's not how it happened. Before she went over to Athena's mom's house, right? June saw that the mother was gonna donate Athena's books, the notebooks that she wrote in, to a museum for the public display. Once June saw that, she knew that if the books go on public display, it will expose her for stealing the manuscript because the outline. So then that's when she ends up calling Athena's mom, and then she goes over there, basically was like, I don't think that you should donate Athena's books to public because Athena basically wrote a lot of personal stuff in those notebooks, and then you are including those notebooks, and those are things that you wouldn't get exposed because there was some trauma there between Athena and the mom. So Juniper gaslighted the heck out of Athena's mom, making her withdraw the books from donating them to the museum, because she basically told Athena's mom, like, yo, you in those books. If you display the books, everybody's gonna see the relationship that y'all had. You don't want that. So, and she also knew that Athena's mom would not go through Athena's books, like would not read the notebooks because it was too much to bear, like too much, you know, again, family stuff happened between them. They didn't have, I guess they didn't have a real good relationship, so the mother didn't want to reread all of Athena's trauma. And Juniper knew that. She gaslighted, manipulated the hell out of Athena's mom. And I was just like, you see what you're doing, all for the love of keeping up a lie? A lie because you want this clout. You think that you deserve to have this fame. Your fame is a lie. She truly believed that she wrote this book. I cannot stress that enough. So anyways, fast forward, whatever. Candace, she works at the publisher house. She really didn't like June. June ends up getting Candace fired. No, not gonna lie, Candace is Asian. Candace would get passive aggressive in her emails with June, but that's because Candace already knew that she already knew the type of person that June was, right? Sometimes you can just tell who a person is, right? And she could tell that June did not write this book. So anyways, so because Candace had basically stated, hey, I think before you publish the book, we should have someone who's of Chinese culture to review the book for any derogatory terms, any racial terms, anything of that nature. So June kept declining, like, oh, I don't think that's necessary. I did my research. It's fine. Candace was like, why? Like, you should just be so it doesn't offend any reader, because you know this climate, cancel culture is crazy. So June declined, and Candace couldn't understand why. Like, because if you wrote the book, why would you decline? You get what I'm saying? Like, you moving funny. You got secrets. So June knew what it was. Candace already knew what it was. Candace did not like her. And then it's also like, I'm not Asian, and just the thought, as somebody writing about your like, what's what I'm trying to say? Just the thought of someone who's outside of your cultural or racial circle writing about your cultural or racial struggle, that could cause strife. Honestly speaking, like, if somebody of another race was to write about the black race struggle, you can't write. You could write about, but you'll never truly understand it because you never lived it. Those microaggressions is crazy. If you never experienced it, you don't really understand how we feel. Like, yeah, you empathize and all that, but it's a different level of being actually trying to put yourself in someone's shoes to feel that. And I just feel like sometimes, like, yeah. But anyways, so as I was saying, she continue with this lie. When the book comes out, Candace ends up writing a review on Good Reviews, right? And because Candace worked for the publisher house, she shouldn't have did that. Freaking June goes ahead and sees the review on Goodreads, snitches to her bosses. Well, Candace's boss is like, oh, I don't think this professional of Candace. She did this. She sent the review to the publishers, the bosses, and Candace got fired. So now I would have been super tight. Now you really going too far. You lied, you clout chasing, now you got somebody fired. Like, granted, every action has a consequence, because Candace should have known, like, if you're gonna write a review, why the hell would you make your user tag name similar to your name? Like, that's just dumb as hell. I ain't gonna lie, that was dumb as hell as Candace. Like, you can't even fight that. Like, we know it was you, bro. But yeah, and other than her not changing the name, she had all right to do that. So now, it comes out again, right? So all the hype dies down about this book. So now the hype dies down. The publisher's on June to write another book, right? So they're already questioning, like, did she really write the first one? Although the news died down, they're like, So she stole Athena's notebook too, right? And there was like a sentence that Athena had wrote. So she wrote a new book. I will say that. She wrote a new book. The new book was her own. But the very first statements of the book was Athena's words, right? So when the book came out, right, she knows to her, which in Juniper is mad dumb, because she should have done her research. She didn't know that for the first statement that she wrote her book with, Athena actually used that as a writing prompt for a class. So when June's book, the second book, came out, there was another author who was in that publishing class that Athena taught, was like, oh, she stole this book too, because here's the writing prompt from the class that Athena taught, and they came with receipts. And it was the same statement line that Athena started with. So then, now it's really out, like, she really stole the book. Everybody, here comes social media again. Like, I knew she did it. Like, I just know, like, she can't write. And then the second book wasn't really a hit. So you could tell the different writing style. And then in different books, everybody different writing style and different verbiage, and, like, the language is different. You could tell if I write something from somebody else writing something, because it's going to be two different type of writing styles. So you could tell that she didn't write the first book. Like, she implemented stuff, but you could tell it went from Athena to her to Athena to her. So it's back and forth. So then she had to come out with, like, yes, I did take the first statement from Athena, like, but the whole book is mine. But I did use the first statement. So the publisher's like, oh, we need to rewrite it, and you stole it. So now they back to the first thing, right? So back to the first book. So it's all blowing up on her face, and I'm like, yes, like, and she's still delusional, still adamant that she wrote the first book. So anyways, Candace is like, now I'm finna get revenge. At first we didn't know it was Candace. So then somebody else came out, making a user profile, basically posing as Athena, and basically trying to say, like, Athena's still alive. So Juniper, dumbass, fell for it, right? So somebody's following her around, looking like Athena, like, really just like you would think Athena was still alive. So then she gets a message like, oh, meet me at the staircases. She meet at the staircase. It's Athena's voice talking, but there's no one there. So Athena is, like, basically saying, like, Athena's voice basically saying, tell the truth, you did this. So Juniper is going crazy, like, I took it, like, confessing like a dumbass, because you watched Athena die. So why would you think that Athena's alive? Like, use your common sense. That's why I said she didn't write that book, because she's not smart enough to write that book. I'm just saying. Come on. Anyways, Candace is in the shadows, because now Candace is seeking revenge because June got her fired. Candace comes down the stairs like, oh, I got your ass. I got you on tape confessing, right? So June is like, oh, you can't play that video. Please, 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 please. Candace is basically reading her for Phil. June is like thinking like, I gotta do anything to not make this come out. So they start tussling, fighting. So I'm like, yeah, Candace, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. So at first it seemed like June is getting up a hand on her. I'm like, damn, like June about to really kill her. Like she really like this fall. Anyways, it just so happened Candace did a little maneuver or whatever and kicked June down the stairs. Then I got a little confused. I'm like, what the hell? The book went to like Candace writing a tell-all book. I'm like, huh? Like that the ending was a little confusing to me. I'm like, what happened? But anyways, while June is in the hospital, because again she got kicked down the stairs, she's still thinking like, oh, I gotta do whatever I can to make sure that this secret don't come out. And then it doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense to me because it's like, all right, Candace is coming out with a tell-all book. She said she got video evidence. I'm like, okay, did she expose June or did she not? Because they also never found any footage of Candace being at the scene of the crime when June was down the stairs. They just knew that somebody called in the anonymous call about it. So I'm like, how is Candace gonna expose June without exposing herself for being at the stairs and being the one that kicked June down the stairs? So I'm just like, yeah, the first half of the book was interesting. Like up until the first half of the book was interesting up until like the part where the boyfriend was trying to blackmail her when he was the first one to start that Twitter account where she stole the book. After she found out it was him, like the book just, to me, it just dragged on. Like I was bored. Like I just wanted the book to be over with. Like I only finished the book because of book club, because you know we gotta have those discussions. But I was like, if I could DNF it, I would have DNF it. Like I didn't like it. Oh, Yellowface basically mean, think of blackface for black people. Yellowface basically, Asian cultures are considered yellow. That's what the research I learned. So if I'm incorrect, correctly, but I did the research and I asked a friend who is Asian, and they said that yellowface is basically a white person pretending to be Asian. And they also told me that yellowface basically mean, for the cover, okay, June is white. She stole an Asian person's story. So you know how people imitate blackface? Basically the same thing, but it's just called Yellowface. And the book is supposed to imitate that. So you see the book is yellow and then the inside is white. So they said this was intentional. So I was like, oh, so again, like I said, I asked my friend, she's in the book club, and she told me this. And when I looked it up, it's the same thing. So like, again, if I'm wrong, y'all can correct me, but I did my due diligence and asking about the what yellowface mean, right? And this is what I was told. So I was like, oh, okay. I honestly did not know yellowface was a thing. That's something new that I learned. I only was familiar with blackface. So I'm like, But as I said, it just gave off another thing of a white person stealing from another culture. That's what it gave to me. And taking no accountability and making something their own, and really believing, being delusional that they are the ones who founded it. Just like they did with America. But yeah. So it just wasn't new for me. It was just giving that. Like, just made me angry. Here we go. We stealing again. So that's just how I felt about the book. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend this. It's not a book I would recommend. Other people would recommend it. I wouldn't be like, read this book. It's interesting. Like it's interesting in the first half, intriguing even. But it's not a book on my recommendation list. That's just how I feel. But anyways, guys, we about to end this video. I've been reading, so I got 2 book reviews that I gotta do. I'm making video for, but I've been reading, so we got the videos to roll out. I just gotta film it, guys. But anyways, I hope everyone is having a good month. I hope everyone is okay. Shout out to everyone who's been watching my videos, who's been commenting, who's been hitting me up, just asking questions, supporting. I appreciate it. Thank you to all my day one supporters. Y'all already know you a day one supporter, no lie. If you've been here from the first video when I did the Sister Soldier review or Life After Death, really shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all the new people who subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support. I really thank you guys for just watching. I really just appreciative of that because you don't have to watch my video. But anyways, if you want me to review a video, drop it in the comments. I know somebody asked me to review Lord of the Flies, so I will do that. And anyways, until next time, your girl is out.